we'll have this discussion.
Discussion? What discussion?
This is a discussion combustion.
Coming to you from Denver, Colorado.
This is Discussion Combustion Podcast with your hosts, Kevin Batstone and Arthur Raw.
You know you got me all excited and mouth breathing in the studio tonight. This is episode 97. I'm really happy that we're doing this in here. We have Brett Phillips in the house, CEO of Tournament Kings, which is a really cool platform to get gamers together. So we're excited to talk more about that. But before we get started, you already know that we are brought to you by Mountain Made CBD. Visit mountainmade.life to get all your crystal clear CBD products.
That's right, guys. It's the clearest, the purest, the most affordable CBD in the market right now. You'll see their website right there at the bottom of the screen. Go ahead and stock up on that build, that boost, that recover, that puff. A little bit of combat, defense, all the great products, man. Auto pay, auto ship. Mountain Made really has everybody's interest in mind. They're constantly willing to innovate. They're taking your ideas. You know, they're tweaking their products a little bit like they did with the Recover. I'm really digging the Recover with chamomile, by the way.
That's delicious.
But the fact remains, head over to mountainmade.life, see what's going on over there. These guys are the CBD fuel for the activated lifestyle, doing tremendous things.
And if, you know, they're a Colorado-based company, but they ship nationwide. So if you are a dispensary or a store that wants great CBD on their shelves, then visit mountainmade.life. They're set up with all the regulations. They have dog products as well. And when you do the auto pay, auto ship, auto discount, so you want to save some money once you find your faves. I have multiple different product lines that I like from there. The Boost, everybody knows, is one of my favorites. And you already know that is hashtag Go Like Hell.
Go like hell, baby. And Discussion Combustion is also brought to you by Wild Outdoor Adventures. And that's going to be WOAMEET.com for less dreaming and more exploring.
Now, when you're ready to get off the couch and start getting back into the world and you're interested in checking out Colorado, then this is definitely the website you're going to want to visit. At WOA, at Wild Outdoor Adventures, they bring people together. Hope for teens, hope for veterans. If you're an entrepreneur, you can go ahead and leave something in there as well. If you have questions, start a questionnaire, start a blog. The website's super friendly and easy to use. And the most important thing about Wild Outdoor Adventures is not just getting outdoors with people of similar interests, but it's making those memories and potentially friendships that will last a lifetime.
That's it, man. That's the main goal. It really is. It's seeing the beautiful Colorado. You know, you just moved here. You want to meet some people. We're taking the masks off. We need a breath of fresh air. Let's go see some of this beautiful scenery. Great stuff coming up. WA is constantly innovating. They have a new program they're getting ready to roll out. We can't talk about it just yet, but I'm going to tell you this. It's going to help small businesses here in Colorado. We know they're an entrepreneur-based company. The fact remains, it's a free and easy-to-use website. Check them out on all social media platforms. Check out some of their YouTube videos if you're a little bit leery about some of these things that they do. Whole lot of fun, man. I can't wait to do the Lost Creek hike here in June. And that's less dreaming and a whole lot of exploring.
Get out there, people. We're definitely enjoying the Brett, welcome in, man.
Hello.
What's up, brother?
In.
Good to meet you, man.
We were enjoying talking to you before the mics went hot, and I swear they're going to stay super hot tonight, man, because you got some good energy you're bringing in here.
Yeah, this is going to be a good one, man. Yeah, and shout out to Louisa, first of all, for
Shout out.
You know, that guest hookup. Louisa's done a couple episodes with us. She'll be here for episode 100. And she kind of opened the door and was like, hey, you should probably have this guy on.
Yeah.
So welcome aboard, brother.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
Cheers. Yeah.
So you've done many things. You seem like you're an intellectual, and I say that joking around. I'm just messing with you. But you've been to some law school. You dabble with that, but now you've started Tournament Kings.
Correct.
And that's your main project right now. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. I got lucky enough to kind of do my own thing. And we started a tournament platform. We're really what we call ourselves is the first decentralized tournament platform. And what that really means is that we live on Discord. So if you guys are familiar with that platform, it really allows the communities to use our software to do the tournaments, and whatever ways they seem fit. So it's pretty, it's awesome, man. I can't be more thankful getting the chance to do what I want to do. And I'm just excited to hear, kind of watched a few videos. I'm excited to jump on and see what it's going to be like. Hopefully don't embarrass, my family or my ancestors or my children.
You seem like a good guy, man. We're glad you're here with us, sharing some of the stuff that's going on. So diving into this Tournament Kings, because Art's a big video game guy. He's a bigger. I like racing games.
Nice.
I'm a huge race car guy. So
Forza.
for me, a little bit of Forza,
Nice.
Gran Turismo, NASCAR. I'm a huge NASCAR guy. So typically those are the games I'm going to pick up.
Sweet.
And I do love playing online gaming and stuff. So if let's say I were interested in doing some tournament style stuff. How would I get involved with what you guys do?
Yeah, so basically, we're really kind of targeted after the guys that are really like kind of serious about it, and we really specialize in niche as well. So racing is a perfect example of that. But typically the way it works is, let's assume that you're looking to go compete, you're looking to go do a tournament. And the way that most gamers go nowadays to go find tournaments or go find people to play with is they go look for Discord servers, right? So you would probably Google, if you're playing Gran Turismo or whatever, you would just do Gran Turismo Discord server. You hop in there. There's typically, anywhere from, 50 to 100 to 10,000 to 500,000 people all there for the same thing. And in the gaming world, they have kind of, looking for group LFG channels. They're very, very common in every major game. And so that was what was kind of the foundation for our product is we took the tournament platform, the tournament experience, and just put it to where the gamers already are, which is Discord. We basically built an app for Discord. And so you would find a community that's running tournaments. And most likely that community is using our bot to run those tournaments in their server.
Okay.
So we don't necessarily put them on ourselves. We provide the software for all the various gaming communities to run their own tournaments. Does that make sense?
It does. That's interesting.
That is pretty cool. So it's more like, you give them a turnkey thing that's easy to use.
Yep.
And then you let them do their thing with it and just keep selling.
That's exactly it, right? Yeah.
Nice.
And if they want premium features, they pay a premium monthly subscription.
Sweet.
And that's kind of how we monetize.
I mean, if that was out when I was heavy in Halo 2,
exactly.
like I would have probably jumped on something like that. You know, as I've grown, like I don't do some of the competitive gaming as much. I'm more into like role playing games or
nice.
The real time strategy or even turn based. If you had to choose between the type of genres of games, first person shooter, or what have you, what's your favorite type of game to play?
My favorite, personally. Definitely first-person shooters. I mean, I grew up on that, and then I'm a big fan of sports games. FIFA. I grew up playing FIFA. I love FIFA. Ironically, I suck at soccer. I only play soccer, but I love FIFA.
FIFA is a fun game.
FIFA is a fun game, and I was terrible at soccer too. I played it as a kid, and everybody thought I was good at it, but I was terrible.
So did we all play on soccer teams when we were like 6 years old?
Yeah, I was 7.
Ironically, I don't think I did, but my senior year I played because my basketball coach was also the soccer coach, and he like legit forced me into playing. And I was just a big body, and just used me.
Just try to throw you in there.
Just run over there.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, they knew I wasn't athletic enough to make like aggressive moves in soccer, so they put me in the defense. So I was just above the goalie there.
Exactly. That's exactly where I played.
That's where I was, man. And all I could do was kick the ball out of bounds. Every time it was in my area, at least I would get a foot on it. I'd keep it away from the goal, but it went out of bounds every time. Every time.
That's all that matters, man.
That's funny.
All that matters.
The team name, I was like 6 years old, they allowed the kids to name the team. And we wanted the most badass name we could possibly come up with. So we were the Scorpion Bulldogs.
That's pretty fucking badass, to be honest.
We were the Big Green, which was like after, I think we ripped that off of something.
That was a movie, a soccer movie.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, that's what we were. And our team sucked.
We sucked. I think they did in the movie, too, so that was accurate. That was accurate, yeah.
The coach knew what they were doing there. That's funny, man.
Yeah.
So I got to ask, because, I played on Microsoft, the Xbox.
Yeah.
So are you a Halo guy or Call of Duty or?
So I grew up playing. I'm definitely more of a Call of Duty, but that's because it's been more consistent over my life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because and they've kind of come out with more games and a lot more frequently. And I've actually really gotten into Call of Duty Mobile recently.
Oh, I've never
which I know a lot of purists out there are probably cringing, but mobile gaming is really picking up. I'm telling you.
Is it good though?
Oh, it is.
Really?
It's basically like what it used to be like back in like the Xbox 360 days.
It's that good.
Yeah, no, I mean it reminds me of like Black Ops 2. Basically, when that one first came out, it's almost the same exact fucking thing. It's just the only tricky part is just the dynamics of the controller, right? But like the graphics and the fluidity of the play and sort of the connectivity, it's phenomenal, man. It really is. Assuming you have good internet.
Yeah,
sure. That's always crucial.
But, no, it's really impressive. And for somebody like me, who's I'm a grown ass man, I got a mortgage, kids now. It's hard for me to whip up the Xbox and stuff like that, but the phone is super convenient, just whip it out.
I mean, you go to take a dump, you play, you dump some people's shit online. The 2 for 1.
Exactly.
See, here's the thing though about doing pooping and gaming is
you got to wipe eventually.
Well, I
And
mean,
then you get it on your phone.
Bro, you're not on the bidet life yet? Come on, man.
I need one.
I've
Yeah.
never tried that.
I need one.
Does it
COVID.
does
Do
it
you have
one?
transcend?
Do you do bidets?
Oh, for sure.
Really?
So you got
COVID.
do you have the
COVID.
Wait a
heated
minute,
toilet
though.
seat then too?
Dude, I got like the best of the best. Like it's got Japanese instructions and shit.
Oh,
you know
God,
what I mean?
they do it right out
it
there in the
is-
Far East.
It is phenomenal. No, really. I mean, that's the beauty of COVID, right? It's like made me step up my
Sanitation
my care.
game.
Your home equipment. Yeah. See, I feel like I got
That's
worse.
awesome.
Because I've been working out in the field through COVID, because I'm in the grocery biz. So I'm
Nice.
still out there doing normal things. And
Nice.
I haven't been taking good care of myself. I just haven't through COVID. I feel like it's the worst I've done.
I don't think anyone has.
But-
Oh,
To be
during the
honest.
beginning, it was rough.
Everyone just kind of threw their hands to the wind and said, the hell with it. Let's just drink whiskey and eat cheeseburgers.
That's a lot of drinking, man.
A lot of drinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's nothing else to do. It's either that or be afraid to breathe and potentially die.
Yep.
So it's
For
like-
sure, especially when it first happened, and that fear level was still up, and
was
we
huge, man.
weren't
Crazy.
conditioned to it
Crazy.
at the time.
Nobody knew what to expect. I mean, no one knew what was
Yeah.
happening. We shut the cast down for like 7-8 weeks, just
Which
because.
is weird because we had like 18 other COVIDs, right?
Right.
I'm just joking.
Yeah, there's all the COVIDs.
It's true though.
Yeah, because this was the 19th one. So,
yeah.
There's that episode. I don't want to get too deep into the whole C19 stuff, but on Joe Rogan, how he had the person there,
Oh, that was great.
and they were talking about like how like it's suspicious. I'm just gonna talk about this one point.
But he was with the CDC.
Yeah, he was with the CDC, but like when COVID first started to infect people, it was like human ready out of the gate.
Right.
And that's not normally the case. So,
Right.
conspiracies can be fun. It's
Yeah,
fun
who
to
knows?
talk about stuff,
Yeah.
but like, yeah, who really knows? Like, because all the things that could happen behind the curtains while the lockdowns were there, and some people are making a lot of money during this. It's kind of interesting to think about. Like, what if it was not just an accident?
I mean, I definitely think it's interesting. It's different now because obviously you compare it to like the last great pandemic, the Spanish flu. It's not like we're in 1912 anymore. Like, I don't think anyone can deny that we could have the technology to alter some of these things. So, I mean, who knows if that's actually what happened or not?
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's fair to say it could have happened. I mean, certainly we have the budget. We have the technology, and I mean humans.
And
as
it's
a
like
species, right?
nanotechnology, where you're like,
It's crazy to think about.
what is
yeah.
that? Is it a biology? Is it a technology where
It's
like
probably
the nano?
both. Biotech. Right?
Biotech, yeah,
Yeah.
Exactly
true.
what it is.
Yeah.
I just question. I mean, for me, I'm not a big conspiracy guy,
Right.
but I'm also not. I'm not a huge mainstream media guy either because I just don't like the way it makes me feel.
Right.
It's not like I don't want to accept the information. It's just I don't trust it.
Yeah.
There's so many sources of news out there now.
When it's all slanted.
Exactly.
It's all
It's
slanted.
spun. It's opinionated.
With the exception of like the NPR. I think the NPR does a pretty good job.
I like
of
NPR.
being impartial, but
I've seen the chart where it's like it kind of puts them in and like, are they far right, left,
Right.
where are they at, like extreme or not so extreme, and definitely NPR was somewhat it leaned a little slightly left, but
Sure.
not too much. But I do enjoy some NPR.
Yeah.
Actually, if not all of our listeners are based in Colorado, but if you guys are in Colorado, 105.5. That's the Colorado Air Station NPR's thing. Like, and that radio station, I put it on that station and I've never taken it off. Like, dude, they always have some different type of music playing, and
Nice.
I've found so many songs listening to that. It's like you get all these different genres. So if you're not listening to CDs, you're not listening to your preset shuffle.
Discussion Combustion podcast.
Yeah, you're not listening to us, or once you're finished listening to us.
Yeah, after.
Yeah, then you go to 105.5 because that's a great listen. I had to plug them at least once. I've been listening to it for months.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's good to diversify what fills up your day of entertainment and news sources. Because, we could sit there and scroll Twitter and all this shit all day long, which I've gotten caught up with doing, and then my opinions get skewed because of what I'm reading. Of
course.
And I don't like that. And then I go home and I put on, it just feels like it's just very,
manipulative.
it is. It's manipulative.
Yeah.
It's monotonous. It's repetitive. And to me, it just seems like we're pumping so much fear. I understand that this is obviously a serious situation, which we've taken it as such. But, I mean, man, when did we get away from reporting news and not reporting fear? That's where I feel like we're at right now.
I know that there was an actual law that was passed. Shit, I can't remember exactly when it was, but it basically like transitioned away from like news being held to a certain level of culpability and versus like, oh, they're actually just entertainment shows now.
Like TMZ versus NPR.
Yeah, so I mean, it used to be where like all the news channels like had to be somewhat accountable, right? And then a law was changed. I want to say the late '80s. I don't know. I could Google it, but it basically like gave them much more free way to sort of be entertainment, and that's why you have sort of the the Fox News and the CNNs of the world that are like presenting themselves as a legitimate, And I'm not saying they're necessarily always illegitimate, but they're not necessarily held to the same standards that they used to be,
right?
In terms of like you have to make sure you're being accurate. You know what I'm saying? And impartial.
And there's become a huge gray area there now.
Exactly. Well, now it's entertainment.
Right.
That's actually what it's legally classified as, right? So
interesting.
And that's what they want. They want those awkward arguments on air with people of different opinions talking about this and that and pushing, right or left propaganda. That's what it seems like every time I tune into those mainstream media sources. It's not the news.
Yeah, it's almost like an instigator who just wants to see a fight. Oh, you have this opinion? Oh, well, they have this opinion. Well, well, what about that? And it's just,
ooh, he said that. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, what do you? How do you? What is your stance on that?
Yeah, it's legit like schoolyard shit. You know what I mean? It's like when you're trying to, instigate fights,
and it's effective.
Oh, for sure.
It's very effective because you can feel it when you go to work the next day and you're talking to coworkers. Did you hear this shit and that? And people are fired up, man. You just feel everybody's so fucking on edge right now, and it's terrible.
Yeah, it is. It's crazy. It is crazy. That's why, to me, I've really become conscious of like what I ingest, mentally. Because we always think all the fucking time about like, what are you eating? What are you drinking, right? And we know that what you eat can affect your health and the way you feel and yada, yada.
I already love what you're talking about. Yeah, keep going.
But it's the same thing. Like, we don't necessarily translate it, right, as I drink my alcohol. We don't necessarily translate it to what we're ingesting mentally. And, I'm 30. I grew up with the internet. I remember back in the day where, you went on Livewire. I think Livewire is still a thing. And, like, you saw all sorts of fucked up videos, right? And, like, you'd see, like, shootings and stuff like that. And it's gotten to the point now where it's just like I cannot ingest that, mentally, and because it affects you, it really does. Because I remember seeing like the New Zealand shooting at the mosque way back in the day, and that I still remember that shit. I wish I never would have watched the footage,
That's true.
And it's the same thing with the news and with social media, especially. It's like it's crazy how much we're eating that stuff mentally all day, every day.
So let's just dive into that just a little bit, I mean, we talked about on our last solo on April Fool's, that special, we talked a little bit about affirmations and kind of the subconscious.
Right, exactly.
And let's just talk about the subconscious a little bit. Like, it literally records every single event, motions, smell, sight, memory. Like, it's constantly being fed. Your subconscious does this 24/7, 365 until you die. And so if you think about that, what Brett is talking about here is so important. What are you feeding your subconscious? Because it's constantly grabbing information. Like, you can't stop it. You can't stop it.
Yeah.
And so, like, to be cognizant of what you're feeding it, and maybe I should turn off this news channel, or maybe I've scrolled a couple pages too deep in Reddit tonight. Whatever it is.
That one hits home. That one hits home hard.
Do you do Reddit?
Yeah, I mean, I've been on it for a long
fucking
time.
Page 68.
Yeah,
nothing I like.
That one hit home.
But yeah, it's important for us to feed our brains, because like what you said, we think about our diets and everything so frequently, but too often our mentalities are. It's important to know how your mind works, and that way you could build your brain.
We're careless with what we ingest mentally. Is kind of what it comes down to.
And it becomes like an obsessive, like an OCD thing at that point. And I think that's what they want. It's like the social dilemma talked about. It's a constant battle for your time. Send them a notification. So-and-so just posted this. So-and-so just shared this. Even if it's not even a notification worthy of you checking it, they still find a way to get you to click on the app and see what's going on.
Right.
It's unreal to me.
And nothing gets clicked like outrage. That's what they know. Like, that's just simple human psychology. Like, they know that shit, and that's what they do. And
they're going to
That's
continue
just
to push
business. That's business, baby.
That's it. That's it.
They're here to make money. Yeah, that's all it is. But I love this. I mean, I got a philosophy degree in undergrad, so this is my jam. Let's keep going down.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, the more.
What about the id or the ego? I'm just kidding.
No, but I don't know that much about that. I know about the chakras and
nice.
and like some of the energies.
Yeah.
But the id and the ego, I feel like we touched a little bit of that in rhetoric class or whatever. But I don't know how much. I don't know too much about that. What is the id?
So, oh man, you put me on the spot, aren't you? Damn, philosophy school was a long time ago. So ego, right? Let's start with ego, right? I believe the id is kind of the subconscious and the ego is the
Okay.
conscious, which is obviously drives everything. But yeah, no, I wish I could have my phone on me so I could Google that.
It's okay. People
Yeah.
will find it out if we get them interested. They'll go do their own research.
Yeah, we'll get it wrong and everyone will correct us right away.
Oh,
in
it
the
happens every
comments,
week. The amount of stuff that we say on here, people are like, you guys are idiots.
We just
every
have
week
a
we
lot
get
of
it.
opinions. You know, we don't.
Yeah.
We're not.
Just don't ask
experts
me
in
where I
anything.
got my degree. I'm embarrassed. I forgot that.
I didn't
long
do any
time
sort
ago.
of, I didn't do any colleging. So,
Nice.
I was a high school graduate.
That was smart. Yeah.
I think it was, man. It's worked out pretty good. I'm
Nice.
not in any sort of debt.
That's big. Yeah.
I partied like I was in college, so
That's all. That's all.
I identify like I went to college. So I feel like that should be acknowledged.
Yeah.
But
That's awesome.
College is good. I mean,
Did you go to college?
A bit.
Yeah.
I didn't quite finish my associates, but I learned everything I wanted to.
Sure.
Because I didn't apply myself in high school. And so
Yeah.
like, it felt good to get some education. But one thing that I think would be fun to do as my years progress and I continue to grow and become older is eventually just, enroll in a course and just pay like a grand for a semester
Totally.
of a class, because it's interesting to, continue to learn. And that's one of my favorite things. I know Kevin really enjoys this too, but we get a lot of people in here that have worn hats we've never even tried to fit ourselves in, and
Right.
and we've learned a lot from a lot of great people. And it's just to keep your education, and I guess the point of that is to keep your mind open to continue to
And
learn.
sharp.
Yeah.
And sharp. Yeah. No, for sure. Lifelong student is kind of like the goal, right? And that's really important. And that doesn't have to be in conventional education,
True.
right? It could be going to a trade school or going to a community center and learning how to do pottery, right? It's like I think we're often way too obsessed with academics
You're right.
as opposed to just skills and knowledge transfer. I mean, there's so much shit we've lost over the years, over like the course of our human history. It's astonishing how much we've lost just in terms of like, very tangible, skills. So I'm all about it. I mean, it's just about being a lifelong student. That's kind of the goal I think everyone should be at.
And one thing that you've been partaking a lot of time in is grass seed.
Right, for the lawn. To be clear.
Yeah, that'd be taken wrong. Yeah, no. Yes, actual grass, not Bob
That turf.
Marley
Yeah,
grass.
come on.
That
come
turf.
on. No, yeah, we actually just bought a house, and so we my wife, I'm married, got 3 kids. They're all young as shit. Boom, boom, boom. And
that's beautiful. Congratulations.
Yeah. No, I appreciate it. It was actually pretty easy. Yeah,
Oh, that's good.
especially. So, yeah, no, I appreciate that. Yeah, I worked hard for it. And anyways, we ended up getting a spot down kind of Bear Creek area, Lakewood, if you guys know where that's at, and
Mm-hmm.
just under an acre. And it's zoned for horses, so we're gonna get goats and chickens and some
Oh, that's
alpacas
fun.
and stuff. And so I've been doing a ton of fucking research into like grass seeds because I want to graze them, right? I'm not trying to mow a fucking acre, you know what I mean? Like I'm gonna graze those sons of bitches. So that's what I've been looking into. Yeah. Yeah.
That's tremendous.
It's exciting stuff, man. Really exciting stuff.
It
I'd
is
like to-
exciting.
I'm a dad.
That is, yeah.
Do you
See,
have-
that's
do you
something
have
you
a
have that we
plethora
don't
of-
have.
Plethora of dad jokes.
Not off the cuff. I'm much more of a improv dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So I got one that I've used before. So where did dads get all their jokes, all their dad jokes from?
I already know this one.
Do you?
Their dad.
The database.
The database.
The database. Sorry.
Yeah. You should have said it like a punchline. You said it so. Jeez, Kevin.
Well, I'll tell you this. So last week I had a little bit of an injury, and I rolled a large amount of weight over my toe, and
That wasn't smart.
it broke.
Yeah.
It
So
did break.
yeah. So to
Whammy.
piggyback off the dad joke, you know who I called? The tow truck.
Stupid.
Nice.
Come on, we're doing dad jokes.
That was a good one.
Punning
Yeah. Are you a dad?
No, I'm not a dad.
Oh, wow.
Neither of us are
I'm not a
dads,
dad. And I don't
Oh,
plan to be a
nice.
dad. I think dads are
Nice.
great.
Yeah.
I really, I think that you seem like a nice dad.
Yeah. No, I'm actually terrible.
Really?
Yeah.
Why do you think you're terrible? Yeah, I don't plan on doing dadding. I love my dad. He's a nice man.
Yeah.
But it's just not for me, I don't think. I'm a very selfish person. And I
Well, I actually disagree. I think
Really?
the fact that you're reflective enough and have enough self-awareness to recognize that shows me that you're not a selfish person, right? Because I think most people would be careless and indifferent when in reality, I think, you know, it takes a lot of, like I said, it takes a lot of courage to kind of admit that you're not well suited for it. You know, because I mean, I'll be honest with you, it's really fucking easy to do. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, you kind of have to be cognizant and take proactive actions to make sure you don't, right?
That's true.
And there's way too many fucking people that are parents that shouldn't be parents.
That's a good point.
So no, I don't think it's that at all.
Yeah.
I can respect it.
Yeah.
I always tell people don't have kids.
Yeah.
And the reason why I say that is because if I can convince you not to have kids, you shouldn't fucking have kids. You know what I mean? Like, it's as simple as that, right? Like, because it changes your shit. It changes your life.
It's absolutely
It's a
life-changing
hell of a
event.
thing. So
I think you know, for me, it's like, I don't know, because that's a good. I'm glad you brought that up, man, and give me a different perspective on it. Because for me, it's like, I don't know. I want to say I'm scared to do it. I just don't want to do it. You know what I mean?
nothing wrong with that.
And I'm also
respect the honesty.
Yeah,
for sure.
It's just knowing like it doesn't
Knowing
feel
yourself.
right. It doesn't feel right, and I'm with my girlfriend and I. We don't want to do it. She's on the same page.
Perfect.
You know,
That's
so
really
it's
good to hear.
So it's not like persuading
It's not a
one or the other.
conflict.
Exactly.
And even if it was, this is one of the things, and again, this is where my family law experience comes out, because this is a shit ton of stuff I used to deal with all the fucking time. But even if it was, that's like, in my opinion, the best thing to break up over is if one person wants kids and one person doesn't.
It's crucial
Because neither one of them are wrong. You see what I'm saying? And they shouldn't feel wrong or feel bad for having a different, desired outcome. And so it's way better. I always tell anybody that has a conflict, like, break up with her, right? Or break up with him. Because the worst thing you can do is have a kid and one person doesn't want to have a kid. Not only is that terrible for both of you, but it's really fucking terrible for the kid.
Yeah, for
You
sure.
know what I mean?
It's terrible.
So, yeah.
Because in that scenario, somebody is probably being a little bit selfish, right?
Right.
And maybe, I don't want to say misleading, but now you're in this boat, and one person doesn't want to be in that boat.
Right.
And so that's not a good situation for anybody. So I would agree
No.
with that, man.
Plus, there's too many fucking people, right?
There is too many people.
That's the point I was going to make. I feel like this planet is overpopulated,
Yeah.
and it's an issue. You
Yeah.
know, so the one-child rule, stuff like that. I don't think that's that bad of a rule. So I do
brother,
have-
are you American or what? You telling me I can have as many guns as I want, but I can't have as many kids as I want?
Hey, I'm not telling you anything. I'm just saying that people need to have children responsibly. Like, and
Well, see-
I've my dad has owned a lot of properties, and then some of those properties were Section 8, and those people specifically had kids in order for tax purposes,
Right.
And so their kids were paying them, and like it was a tool for them at that point. Like,
Well, but at the same time-
there's a
That's
lot of
terrible.
things.
That's terrible. That's
Yeah.
terrible.
It is a terrible
For sure.
situation.
Yeah.
And those scenarios people are always going to find loopholes and ways
Right,
to
of
manipulate
course.
the system. But at the same time, I'm a huge believer in personal liberty and freedom. And I don't think that those kind of things should be restricted. If I can have my guns, have your goddamn kids. Why is that funny to you?
Brett's cracking me up, man.
Hell yeah.
It's cracking me up, dude.
No, I mean, I say in jest, but I mean, I honestly agree. I mean, within reason, right?
Sure. Yeah, I'm not saying having 47 kids and counting, and you had a new show on Discovery or something. And if you do, that's great too.
Yeah. Well, this is where my philosophy and my legal mind just don't let me like kind of fuck around and go with it, because I mean, my first thought is like, you can't do that because it's such a slippery slope. Right, when you start getting into like one child only, right? Like,
Oh, yeah.
it's just like it's crazy to even think about how you would actually implement.
No, you
that,
can't. You can't do that.
It's just impossible. And honestly, you wouldn't want to, because like where that could potentially end up is what we're kind of seeing in China right now. I mean,
Exactly.
it's actually fucking terrifying.
So isn't there
you know?
like because most people wanted to have their name carried on, they would opt out of a female daughter.
right?
They
Yeah,
would want a
it's
son.
much more common. Yeah,
And so now there's like an influx.
very chauvinistic, and
Yeah.
it's crazy.
And there's not enough
patriarchal.
women to keep populating.
Is that right?
Is that how it's playing out?
That's one of the side effects, but I was talking more about just like they started with something like that, and now they're getting to the point where they actually have a social score that they're implementing for every single person. And if you do something wrong socially, it could affect your ability to leave the country. It could affect your ability
Isn't
to
that
get
scary?
loans. That's what I'm saying. So it's kind of a slippery slope when you start taking away people's liberties of like to do certain things. And we're kind of seeing it play out in real time, in China.
It's
That's
scary,
actually a
man.
really good
It's
point.
scary. It's
Yeah.
start, if that's where we're starting. Have you ever seen Black Mirror? Is it Black Mirror?
Yeah. There's a lot of episodes on there.
There's a lot of episodes.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Twilight Zone.
Are they still
It
making new ones of that?
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
So there's like 3 seasons. I watched all of them. Sorry.
Every
Yeah.
time I watch that show, though, it's kind of mind blowing. But I just got to think about that one episode where they had the social score. You know,
Yeah, exactly.
And I think it was a female actress at that point. She was like, "Oh, I have to do this, and my score just went down. Moving to this neighborhood,
Right.
You know, is that where we're headed?
Well, that's basically where China's at right now. Like that's not science fiction.
That's what it is.
I mean, it's like I've seen plenty of stuff. I mean, I don't live there, but my understanding is that's already been rolled out. Wow. For sure, yeah.
Yeah, no, I could confirm. I've seen similar news, and
Right.
yeah, it's crazy. One world, so many different agendas. You know, we all have the same needs. So it's
Absolutely.
it's just kind of interesting how, you know, things transgress. Like how, you know, the North is less ice coverage every single season, and now there's like this huge push to get oil out there, and like who's going to control the northern seas. And so geopolitics is something that's extremely interesting to me. I don't know. I'll give this guy a plug. Caspian Report has a great YouTube channel on geopolitics, and I've spent hours just sitting there watching like Turkey's geopolitics or you know, Sweden's, and just like you get an idea like the rivers, the mountains, like why there's these certain type of politics based on the location. And it's, you know, the South China Sea is a really hot spot right now. Like that's an interesting topic to me.
Yeah. It's also silly to me though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we're fighting over imaginary lines. You know what I'm saying? Like it's so silly to think that like what they're doing in China, you know, doesn't affect us, right? And that's actually one of the things we're learning from climate change specifically is just how connected we are. Because I mean, they're pumping out all this shit, and to be fair, we did it too. But you know, they're kind of a booming economy in China and India, and they're pumping out so much stuff, and we're actually getting the effects, making it all the way around back over here. So. I mean, I think if you had to point to one issue of like humanity, is geopolitics, right? Because it's this idea that we're somehow like fighting over something that is, you know, not connected to everybody. Like you can have ownership over this piece of land when we're all riding the same rocket ship. You know what I mean? We're all in the same boat.
Yeah.
We really are. So that shit frustrates me more than anything. And if I have any hope for the future, it's just kind of the idea with the younger generations that they grew up with the internet and they grew up knowing people from around the world.
Yeah.
I really hope we can move to a point where we kind of get back past that such little meaningless stuff in the grand scheme of things. You know what I mean? Like, why are we fighting over that stuff?
Yeah.
I know I'm making it real philosophical.
No, but it's real shit.
It's really accurate too, because that's where we're at. I mean, it's just everything is so amplified, you know, and the big picture is can we get everybody on the same page? And this is one thing I always say with climate change. We talked about this with Dr. Maria last week. One of the questions I asked her was, is it too late, number one? She said, of course not, because we got to try.
And who was she?
So Dr. Maria Michael, tremendous guest. If you guys are just tuning in and didn't listen to last week's episode, go back. It was a very, very moving episode for sure. She's a very renowned doctor, works on the Indian reservation, and really brought a lot of light to the struggles that's going on these reservations. It's terrible. It's heartbreaking.
Yeah. My wife's Native American.
Is she?
So yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, totally. I get it.
Yeah.
I know kind of, well, secondhand, I guess. So yeah.
There was a lot of things I learned, man. I mean, it's just heartbreaking to hear what's going on. But at the end of the day, you know, when we talk climate change, because one of the things I brought up was, is it too late? Because my fear with it is, I'm not saying I don't think we can do anything. I just don't know if we can get everybody collectively, globally, speaking geopolitics, to get on the same page to actually make a difference to bring the numbers down. You know what I mean? That's always my biggest pushback when it comes to the climate change debate. Right. I'm not saying let's not do anything and just say the hell with it and keep burning tires and doing all this stuff. What can we do collectively on a global level to make an impact? You know, that's where I'm always struggling.
I wish I could give you encouraging words, but honestly, I'm actually gonna give you more ammunition as to why you should feel that way. And the reality is, so when I was in law school, I went to do a summer in France program, and we had a partnership with a French law school, and one of the focuses of that kind of summer internship or whatever you want to call it experience was environmental law. And so we learned a lot about, all sorts of the UN meetings and, the treaties, Paris Accords, whatever, yada, 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 all those super famous ones. What's really fucking hilarious about that is like the United States, right, is such a little bitch because on all these like international agreements, you see all the countries that say they signed and ratified, they all agreed to it. America, every single one, it says signed but not ratified, signed but not ratified. And that's because you send these representatives to these places and, the representatives agree. Like, yeah, this makes sense. And America, they have to go back and then get Congress to approve it, to ratify it, right? And then, of course, it descends into, politics, and it never gets ratified for whatever reason. So it's just kind of really disheartening when you actually look at the legal side of it. And it's like, oh, we didn't even agree to any of this shit. You know what I mean? Like, we're not really even bound to it. And that's just assuming that pieces of paper even have any real power, which, we've proven time and time again, they don't really, especially when you're dealing with, like I said, sort of developing countries that really have a very good argument as to why they should be able to pump all this stuff into the environment.
I mean, that's how every developing country did
exactly.
it. I mean,
that's exactly their argument. They're like, you did it.
Yeah.
And look, you're now rich as fuck. Why can't we do it?
Yeah. So I mean, that's maybe one of the benefits of everyone at least trying is then you get these new technologies developed
right.
and more commonly used.
Right.
So then the cost goes down on manufacturing. And then maybe those are available to build a better infrastructure, because that's one of the biggest struggles of having this industrialization and then trying to move to clean energy
right.
is you have this entire infrastructure that's built on the old ways that we didn't know was damaging.
Right.
And so you have to re-gut it. And anybody who's ever done construction, it's easier
asbestos
to build brand
everywhere.
New. Yeah.
Mesothelioma everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it is crazy.
That's an interesting subject. We won't dive too deep into that, but I'm happy that we touched on that. So I do have. So I asked you the Halo versus Call of Duty. I would choose Halo.
Yeah. So to answer that, I would say Call of Duty. Wow, what a bringing that back around.
And then I had one more on the video game. So Skyrim or Witcher 3.
Definitely Skyrim, because
Okay.
I played it more, but I love the Witcher Netflix show.
Oh, that was
I'm just going to say, beautiful adaptation.
They did it great. Did it justice.
Super pumped. That's actually one of the few Netflix shows I've binged twice. I rarely binge shows twice, but that was one. But yeah, no, for the game, Skyrim for sure. Yeah, unfortunately.
Elder Scrolls, I know you probably haven't dived too deep into either of those, Kevin, so I'm just going to skip your answer. No,
first of all,
I'm joking.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a fair assumption. Okay, I'll give you that because
he was an adventurer. He took an arrow to the knee. Right? So he knows.
So
I don't know if he knows what that means.
I don't. But what I'm going to tell you is, what was I saying? I was talking about racing games and do all that stuff. But I will tell you, I did play the Elder Scrolls. I played Skyrim and I played Oblivion.
Okay.
Nice.
I can say that I didn't necessarily get too far into either, but I've played
fair.
them. I've experimented with them. I've kind of seen what's going on.
Yeah.
So as far as that would you rather, I just don't feel like I have enough knowledge on the
Witcher 3.
That's
Yep.
okay.
So-
I forgive you. Yeah.
But beautiful game nonetheless. So one that I tailored for you here.
Okay.
If you had to pick one of these professions, which would you choose? Being a professional NBA player / coach or like trainer, or a successful comedian / entertainer?
Oh my God, Luisa, you're giving him way too much information.
You took Louis' fucking bullet points. Huh?
Goddamn right I did.
That's a tough one. I'll tell you what my thought process is right now, right? I'm such a capitalist pig. I'm thinking, what has the best earning potential? And if we're talking NBA, well, that was the question.
Involved
right?
in the NBA, you could be a player, trainer.
Yeah,
coach,
definitely the
something.
NBA, because the NBA insinuates that I've reached the pinnacle, right? I could be a shitty comedian, you know what I mean, and like paying the bills, a full-time comedian, but not necessarily making any money. NBA, I'm doing good either way, so I'm gonna take NBA.
Okay.
Yeah, plus that was kind of my first love too. I didn't necessarily grow up wanting to be a comedian, but yeah, definitely basketball.
So you do some skit comedy?
I did
What's
back
the
in the
difference
day.
between like stand-up comedy and skit comedy? Like I don't.
Skit comedy got more than one person, kind of. You know,
okay.
it's like the improv shit.
Okay.
Like some SNL type shit.
Yeah. We used to do that. We used to also kind of fuck around with like YouTube videos back in the day in high school, and yeah, it's good stuff, man. Yeah. just like to have a good time, you know.
Yeah.
That's what it's about.
Yeah.
What was one of your favorite bits? Like, did you
Yeah,
have
no.
one?
So I'm not a I'm not a stand-up comedian.
No, but you said you put up some like, did you have one that you really loved?
We like would do like skits. We would like act it out. We actually had this show that we had developed, and it was a good time. But no, I'm not a stand-up. Well, I mean, this is kind of my best version of a comedian. It's just kind of freestyle.
Yeah.
So,
Here's a good
Hell
skit
yeah.
that crawfish that our good friend Craig came up with.
Crawfish Pappy.
And this
is that a real guy?
Yeah,
He's a real man.
I love me some crawfish.
Oh,
Hell yeah.
you got to suck.
He's a
suck,
raging
suck
Cajun.
the head. Oh, is
Nice.
it sucking the tail? It's
You
sucking
do
the
both.
tail.
Do
Bite the
both,
head.
brother.
Bite the
Why
head,
not?
twist, suck.
So
You can do both.
bounce out. Okay, that's the name of the skit. Bounce out. And so the whole premise of this thing, and I didn't come up with this, but it's pretty funny, so I'm gonna say it. The whole thing is like it's like a dude in his early 20s, and he's, you know, on the prowl, and he's constantly getting tail feather. And the whole thing about the premise of bounce out is you got to come up with creative ways after the deed is done
To bounce out.
to have them bounce out. And so that was like the whole idea of that like skit comedy thing. I don't know. It's just kind of funny, the whole bounce out thing.
So it's like, oh, I got jury duty. You know, like
Yeah.
What do you say?
Yeah, like, hey, do you want
Yes,
to you want to stay the night? No, I'm sorry. I gotta go start baking.
I got
cookies.
type 1 diabetes. Sorry.
yeah. My A1C is way through the roof. I mean, I got to address this.
It's time for you to bounce out.
Wait, this is my house. You gotta go.
Yeah. Yeah.
good
So if I had to pick from the Would You Rather, I'm going professional entertainer / comedian. I mean, I used
don't know,
to
man.
I used to rap, and that's I wanted to reach the people with.
We doing a freestyle later?
I
or
could
what?
totally.
Oh, Patreon for post show for sure.
I could totally
Nice.
bust some hot acapellas.
Nice.
But, yeah, to bring a positive, like a pure message, and that's how I used to look at music, was I could write lyrics that would deliver a pure message
Yeah.
based on how I wanted to say it, without any interaction from anybody else or any interruption from anybody else.
Pure fire.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
give it to the people so they could feel the flame. You know, so that was one of my biggest things, and this kind of scratches that same itch. So I'm going entertainer route.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Just because for me, that's what. Ever since I was a little kid, I wanted to be an entertainer.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Most people that knew, I did talent shows and I sucked.
Strip dance.
I
Mostly,
mean, yeah, dude. I mean, I was doing it all. I put on a tutu and dance a hoo-hoo. Who knew what I was doing?
An adult entertainer. That's what you meant, right?
Yeah, I mean, at a young age. At a young age, I was doing questionable things, and it's just fun.
Yeah.
It's just fun. Have a good time with it. Be yourself. Put it
Yeah.
out there, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I tried the music thing. That didn't work.
Yeah. So what kind of music do you guys play?
Yeah, I sucked.
That's fair. I didn't ask if you're good or not.
No, actually, the Ridge Runners, man, that was one of the coolest experiences of my whole life was playing with the Ridge Runners.
That's cool.
My bass player called us Cowpunk and Farmageddon. All right, so
Okay.
that's like
I know some of those words. Yeah.
Yep. So that's like what is it really? It's like
Yeah. Cowboy punk.
yeah, like hillbilly rock, that type of shit. But we were, rockabilly. That was the kind of the mainstream term. So Pete, Screaming Pete,
That's cool.
good old
Open the door! Open the door! Open the door!
Screaming Pete, my old bass player, that fucking Yahoo, great guy. He came up with it. He was like,
Is
dude,
he from New York? I don't
he
know.
is.
Yeah,
He's from
hey,
New York.
Good accent. I got
Good
it.
call,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah.
He's from upstate New York.
Good
One of the
right.
best bass players I've ever worked with, and I've only worked with two. So Pete's great.
Nice.
Just a great guy. But at the end of the day, he named us Farmageddon and Cowpunk,
I like it.
and I think it worked.
So are you a player in the NBA fantasy, or are you?
Well, if we're talking about
are you
fantasies,
coaching?
yes.
Are you coaching it, or like what are you doing?
I mean, yeah. If we're talking about fantasies, I'm playing for sure, but only in a fantasy. Yeah. No. I mean, yeah, fantasy. Yeah, I'd love to play. Like I said, but I think your more realistic fantasy is coaching for sure. I played through high school and college, so
I could see you being the mental coach for the team.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
you have that calm, you have like a calm demeanor, and
Nice.
your voice I could see could be relaxing.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I feel
That's
like
right.
I feel like that would be a strong suit for you, as you talking them through. Like,
Yeah.
hey, don't worry if you miss that pass.
Yeah,
You
I don't know
got
if that'd
this.
be me. That'd be me probably in the locker room,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm way too competitive to be that calm on the floor.
You feel like you
for
could be like
sure.
that hard ass because that's what it takes, right? You'd be like, listen
Yeah.
here, what are you doing? Make the fucking
What you
shot.
doing?
Follow your lane.
What are
here.
you doing?
Either
What
you're
the
going to
fuck's
tighten up
going
or
on?
I'm tightening you up.
Let me in.
Either you tighten up or I'm gonna tighten you up.
Yeah. Make more shots. Stop missing. Yeah, that's what I would do.
You know what I don't like?
Shoot better.
Shoot better. Hit your fucking marks. What are you doing here?
That's what I would say. Yeah.
Have you
That's
seen
coaching.
that? That's coaching, man. You got to get in their face, right? You can't
Yeah.
just be giving this pity
You got to
shit.
tell them what to do.
Tell 'em what to
Score
do.
more points than the other team. Let's go.
Yeah. And I would
Put it
suck
in
at
their
it
head.
because I can't fucking make the shot. But I'm going to tell you, you have to. What am I doing here?
That's right, man. That's college basketball.
That's good. Yeah.
Bunch of short white dudes, old white dudes telling these tall black kids how to play basketball.
know,
Yeah, yeah. They're like,
Yeah,
listen here,
yeah.
you fucking asshole. I know what I'm doing.
While I'm making millions of dollars
Yeah.
and you're studying tonight.
Yeah. Have you seen that Geico commercial? It was one that was like, it was released a couple of years back, but now they're playing it again.
Yeah.
I can't remember the guy's name. I just can't. But it's a Geico commercial where he goes around blocking every shot, like someone tries to throw
yeah.
like a little paper in the trash can. Do you know his name?
No, I don't want to guess because I'll sound like I'm.
I'll fuck it up. Does it sound familiar to you?
I don't recognize the commercial.
And he's like knocking down cereal.
Yeah, yeah. There's like
Yeah.
a kid in the
He's
grocery
like-
store, and he's like, no.
Yeah, he's like, get it out of here.
What and then
And then the punchline is like, saving money on Geico is like, how happy are you saving money? Happier than this guy blocking a shot.
Yeah.
I think is the punchline.
and it's a professional, I assume, if it's
Yeah.
come back around.
Older school for sure.
Or is he like an older guy?
Yeah, he probably played like, man, I'm gonna get scrutinized for this going on record, but he probably played in like the 80s, maybe.
I'm gonna guess Mutombo, Dikembe Mutombo. maybe?
That's it. Yeah, that's it. He just nailed it. I knew
I
this
got
guy
a
would
big
get
head. Yeah.
Get that smug look on
physically.
camera.
Physically, it's a very large
it.
head.
There's the thumbnail right there.
It is a very
Yes,
large
look.
head. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
gotta love it. Does this hat fit you? I don't
Oh,
know.
there's
'cause
no
I
way.
got a big head. I can't ruin
What-
your hair
What
though.
size?
Well, it's a
What size?
snapback.
Probably
sharing hats,
in the
bro.
last one. I wear a size
Yeah.
8. If you know anything about fitted hats.
Oh no, I don't.
It's a big fucking head.
Yeah.
I don't have a very big head.
It is a big head. You can't really tell because I don't know. Maybe you can tell, but yeah, no, it's more like this way. You know.
It seems like it's a pretty nice shaped head, though.
Yeah.
you know.
Thank you.
Have you ever
worked hard on it,
went
yeah.
number one the whole way?
What's that? Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, I mean, when I was in the army, they did several
Oh, for sure.
iterations of that. I got the cool little waves in my scalp right up here. You can't
Okay.
see them, but when I'm bald, you can see them. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah.
Nice.
That is cool. It's character points right
Yeah,
there.
that's right. You guys ever been totally shaved? Totally
Oh
bald?
yeah, dude. I'll tell you this, man.
I
I
used
bought.
to have a little wheelie. Were you about to tell that story?
Yeah, I was about to tell the
Okay.
story, Art, before you told my life. Let me tell my life.
Sorry, I've been around. Fuck.
So there was this thing called the head blade. I was, dude, in my 20s. A lot of people thought I was a bit of a racist, or like a skinhead, which I was.
Yeah.
But I didn't.
Oh.
I didn't. I wasn't. I was a
He
skinhead.
wasn't a
in-
skinhead,
in-
but his head was
okay.
skinned.
yeah, I
So
wasn't a real-
physically, yeah,
Right.
Not necessarily.
Not ideology.
ideology.
Yeah, let's make that.
Racially.
Let's
Gotcha.
make that
Okay,
clear.
cool. That's
Yeah.
good.
Walking
to
a
know.
thin line there.
Well, no,
good
but
to
my
know.
my
That's
head
good
was
to know.
skinned, right?
Yeah.
So
fair
I
enough.
technically was a skinhead,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't follow that ideology.
Yeah. You're not a Nazi, is what you're telling me. Yeah,
Sure.
Okay, cool.
I'm not. No,
That's
I'm not.
good.
Definitely something you don't want to identify
Yeah.
as now.
I'm not that. I'm not that.
That's
And,
good. That's good.
Anyone who's watched the show long enough knows I'm not that.
Yeah,
But
right
people
on.
still think I am, even
Right
though
on.
I'm not. But the fact remains, there was this little tool called a head blade, man, and you put your fingers on it. It was like a 3-wheeler with a blade, and it would
It's
just
like a
ride.
micro machine with a blade on
It would just ride your scalp,
That's dope.
And that shit made me bald. That thing was shiny. It looked like Howie Mandel.
Did you buff it?
I didn't buff it.
Jimmy.
Warren.
No.
Two types of people.
Yeah. I don't know why I did that though, man. To be honest with you, I don't know why I did balding.
You liked the way the wind felt on your scalp.
Well, it's great aerodynamics. That's true. That's a great point.
I probably
you were
ran a
able to
little
run
faster.
faster.
yeah. Swim fast.
But you were wearing your freaking clog hoppers.
Yeah,
anyway,
because
so-
what I like to do is wear these big old clog hoppers,
So
man.
he
Those make
couldn't
it
run
tough to
fast
run.
regardless. So Kevin, you've gotten into some trading over the last year. I had a would you rather for you, Brett,
hear
that involves trading.
Okay.
So if you could go back in time
Yeah.
and invest into one stock,
Yeah.
which one would it be? Let's
At-
say you
at-
go
at
back
any
20
point?
years.
Oh,
Yeah.
20 years? Okay.
Or any point in time. You can do any point in
Two
time.
different questions now. Hang on now.
Any point in time.
That's harder. Let's go back 20 years. Let's
Okay,
say
20 years.
years.
Okay, go
that's-
back 20 years.
That's a much harder question.
So it is 2001.
Tough year.
I was 11. That's crazy. 9/11, never forget.
That's right.
Which we're getting ready to be out of Afghanistan now on 9/11. I don't know if you guys saw that.
I did see that.
That's right. Yeah, that's sweet.
As we
20
should be.
years. Yeah.
20 years.
Agreed. 2001. what happened in 2001? Obviously 9/11 happened. This was before 2008 was kind of the crash. That's a tough question, especially because I'm taking it super seriously.
That's good, though.
I think, yeah. It'd probably have to be Apple, to be honest. I think that's probably the safest bet because I think that was actually the time where Steve Jobs was no longer there. This was before the iPhone, where they really kind of got the renaissance.
Before the touch screen was out.
It was probably, yeah, because Microsoft was kind of big at that point already. Like they were already kind of on the
They had
stage.
like the colorful computers.
Yeah, they were kind of they'd already kind of
ones.
arrived. If it was maybe like 95, I might have done Microsoft, but they'd kind of already arrived. But I think Apple would have been a good time to buy low right then. Yeah, probably Apple. I'd go with Apple.
Yeah, that was my initial thought.
Yeah,
And Amazon, of course.
Amazon was gonna be my answer.
they weren't a thing then though.
No, because
Yeah,
Amazon was because I remember when
Amazon
I was,
IPO'd in the late
when I was a
90s.
kid and signing on through the
IPO.
Yep.
Really? That's surprising.
Yeah, because
to me.
well, remember when Amazon first came out, they were a book company.
Mm-hmm,
Remember they just did books, and people that bought the stock at that time for under $100, people that bought it then and held it that actually went long,
It's stupid.
incredible,
Yeah.
incredible. So I think,
I hate all those people. I'm so jealous.
yeah, yeah,
Right, if
it's
only I had $11 back then to throw into that shit.
yeah,
Exactly.
It would have been money made, but who knew? Who knew that
Yeah.
it was going to do that? That's the thing with the trades, and I'm big into cryptocurrency right now.
Nice. What's your what are you bullish on? Right now?
Right now, I'm bullish as I got my Robinhood pulled up as I'm looking down on it.
He is pulling it
I got it pulled up. Litecoin and Bitcoin. I'm telling you, man, those two are the rippers. So, a lot of guys like to invest in some of these penny cryptos. There's so many coins out there. Ethereum's another good one. Dogecoin's another great one. It went up like 57% yesterday.
Oh yeah.
It's insane. It's insane the amount of money you can make quick on these crypto bull runs right now. And Litecoin, dude, I'm telling you, I really feel like Litecoin's trading at 275 as we record, and Bitcoin's at 62,000.
Man, I remember back when Bitcoin was pennies.
Yeah.
I know. I wish I would have done that just when it first came out, and there was all this hype there for it and room
Mm-hmm.
for opportunity. And my dumb ass had the wrong priorities back then and zero capital to invest.
But again, it goes back to that same mindset of, well, I should have invested in Amazon in 2001 or Apple or anything like that. But is that where the priorities were then? Right? Was it as front and center?
Did you
as it
have
is
money?
Now? Did you have money? Yeah, because back then,
No.
first of all, in 2001, I was, how old was I? 12, 13?
I graduated in 05, so I was
Yeah,
like,
we're close. We're all close in age.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'm the senior in the room.
You are.
But yeah, you got me by 3 years at least. I was 08.
Yeah.
I graduated 07.
There you go. Yeah.
So my priorities then were, Skittles, Lemon Heads, Cheetos.
Yeah. Jinko.
Yeah,
Shorts.
Jinko shorts.
Yeah.
I did
Those
the
were
goth
super
thing.
cool for a little bit.
Airwalks. Yeah.
Yep.
It's good.
Dude,
Ball chain necklaces.
what were the mini MP3 players where it had the disc that was within like a case? And like
Walkmans?
and it couldn't skip in your pocket like you would try, and it wouldn't be skipping. That was before like the MP3s were actually so it wasn't a digital MP3. It was a mini disc player. That's what it was.
After the Walkman.
The mini disc player. Yeah. So
After
that
the
was
Walkman.
shit.
Before the iPod or the, was it the iPod?
Yeah.
that was the first one.
That was okay. That was after. So the
Yeah.
Walkman, then what you're talking about, and then the iPod.
Yeah. The mini disc players were super cool because they could hold like 10 times the amount as a normal CD-ROM.
Yeah.
And they were smaller, and it was like a disc that came in a plastic shelf that you would just put in there, a plastic sleeve. And so it would never scratch. It would barely skip. And I thought that was the coolest thing back in the day.
It was the coolest thing back in the day for sure. Yeah, that's awesome.
I was always behind, man. I feel like with anything technology, and you can attest for this because he's known me for a long enough time now. Like when smartphones first came out, I was still rocking flip phones on my belt clip. You know what I mean?
The Razor.
Oh yeah,
Hell yeah.
rocking that
The
hitter.
Razor was so hot back in the day.
The Razor was
It was
great.
so hot I
thought
couldn't
it was
even touch it.
yeah.
So hot.
I thought it was cool. I was like, man, this thing works for me. I don't need all this fancy shit, right? So I was like one
Plus
of
you
the
had
last.
Snake on there. What else could you need?
What else do you need? It did the job, and that's what I was looking at. I was like, this is what I know, and I'm one of those guys. I stick to what I know.
Yeah,
New
exactly.
shit makes me a little bit like leery.
The game changed when you could start sending people photos from your cell phone.
That was a game
Game
changer.
changer.
That was a game changer.
Potentially for the worse.
Yes.
If we're gonna get if you talk about the explicit end of that,
Yeah.
I'll tell you that's the dark arts.
Gentlemen out there, don't ever
Harry
send
Potter.
an unsolicited dick pic.
Yeah, don't do it.
Don't
do
do
it.
that.
Don't do
It's
it.
just not a good thing, man.
No.
I don't like doing it,
Yeah.
and I tried
There's
to.
plenty of women that will solicit it, so just find
Right.
them. You know what I mean? Unsolicited is the problem.
And if,
It
and
is
if
a
you
problem.
have to tell people you're a nice guy, then you're probably,
Probably
not a nice. Yeah.
yeah.
And here's the thing: even if, whether it's solicited or unsolicited, I'm gonna tell you this: it's just not that good to look at, as far as what I'm gonna send.
Yeah.
It's not that impressive. It's like,
Yeah.
what is this?
Yeah.
Why are you sending me this?
Yeah.
You know, I'd rather just take my chances in person.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not gonna blow this thing
Yeah.
and make you think this thing's like, fuck this guy.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, what am
Yeah.
I doing? So, and for
feel
me,
ya.
and so that also piggybacks off why I don't like sending pictures of my genitalia over the internet.
So I'm definitely investing in Amazon.
We got off the rails a bit, didn't we?
I love it.
Oh, we were due for a good old fucking
makes
shit-taking
sense.
podcast. I
Yeah.
love it.
Well, just remember your mom listens to this every week.
Mom,
Sorry, Mom.
Mom listens, and
I'm
she's
not going to tell my mother about this podcast.
mom's not a fan of
Don't blame you.
I'm not going to lie.
you know, that kind of texting. She's told me before, son, you better not do that.
That's good.
But I'll tell you this, Mom,
good for
I don't
her.
do it.
Yeah, that's good.
I haven't done it.
You raised them right, Mom.
Oh, thanks.
You raised them right.
Yeah, Mom will appreciate that.
Yeah.
So
I
you gotta-
appreciate you, Mom.
She's a nice lady.
all the moms.
All the moms.
All the moms.
All the moms. Your mom as well.
Yes,
And
all the,
my
all the
wife's
moms
great woman.
deserve,
Yeah.
deserve
Shout
a
out
lot
to
of
your
love.
mom.
Yeah.
And they can still tune in,
And
you
your
know.
wife, who's a
Yeah.
mother.
She is.
And your wife.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What's your wife's name?
Courtney.
Courtney?
Yeah.
Seemed like a nice person.
Out to Courtney.
Yeah, she is.
You've,
she seems
you've wrangled this man.
Pretty
so
tough
good
and
job.
resilient to put up with this handsome
She
feller.
is astonishingly tough and resilient.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's,
Yeah.
that's tremendous.
So we
She is
do
the
have
backbone.
a word of the week.
Oh, yeah.
hell yeah.
And
Damn,
this one's coming
I forget about
locally.
my segments sometimes when I get in the zone.
It's okay.
This is why I like having guests in studio, because I have fun.
It's yeah. I mean, Zoom's cool and all, but like having people in is
Yeah. You can smell me.
yeah. You smell good.
It
Am I
smells-
catching that?
Thank you.
I think
I
I'm
did
catching
put
that.
some cologne on.
What,
Yeah,
what brand
for
do you
sure.
wear?
The classic white boy Aqua di Gio. You
Oh,
know how
Aqua
it
di Gio?
goes. Yeah.
Is that how you say
Is that
it?
a classic
I
white
don't
boy
know.
fragrance?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. That's what, like, I walk into those stores in like the mall and everything, and it's like there's like only like two different, colognes on the actual like tables, and it's always Aqua di Gio and something else, right? So I'm just like, yeah, that one. Like
That'll
they
work.
know, you
Yeah.
know,
Here you go. You like this one.
they know.
I like
yeah.
the unisex Joe Malone sage and sea salt.
Never heard of that
That's one
one,
of
yeah.
my favorites.
Nice.
You know, if you get the big bottle, it's gonna probably cost you over 200 bones, but man, that thing smells delicious.
You know, I dabble with some of the expensive colognes like later in my high school. I went through a phase where I wore a lot of sweaters. And I was trying to look.
Sweater phase.
Yeah, I went through a sweater phase. They used to call me, what'd they
The
call
sweater
me?
guy.
Yeah, they call me sweater boy or some shit, you know? I wore a lot of sweaters.
They called you tight knit.
No, but the thing
it
is,
knit?
it was knit.
Yeah.
But I wasn't a real classy guy, and I'm still not. I just
Yeah.
went that. So
Classy's overrated.
it's just overrated,
It's all
man.
bullshit.
You know, and so I did like the Armani Mania, the Giorgio Armani colognes. Because I
Nice.
do love fragrances. They smell
Yeah,
great.
for
And
sure.
one thing I learned is my favorite fragrance
Stings the nostrils. Yeah.
does sting the nostrils, especially if you get a little bit on your fingers and then you do a booger pick.
There you go.
That'll hurt.
Yeah. It's kind of a good hurt, but yeah.
think?
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
I mean, it wakes you up.
Well, if
Makes you feel
if
alive.
sneeze afterwards, it's very relieving.
yeah, that's
But now I wear, contrary to myself, redneck cologne. And I'll tell you this, dude, Stetson.
Diesel.
That's what I wear. I wear Stetson.
there one called Diesel?
There is a diesel one. I've seen it. It comes
Yeah.
in like a knuckle looking
Yeah,
kind of
exactly.
spray
Yeah,
bottle. That's what it
exactly.
is. And it's okay. But I like Stetson, dude. I want to.
Stetson's good.
I smell like
Isn't that a cowboy hat brand?
Yeah, of course.
Stetson.
Stetson?
Yeah. But it's cheap. It's like a $15 bottle of cologne. It smells
At Kmart.
tremendous.
Yeah, it's great.
I think because, I'm 32 years old now, some of the younger ladies would be like, you smell like my dad. And that's okay
You got
because
daddy problems?
my girlfriend's older than me, so that works, right?
Yeah, perfect.
But I don't even know what I was talking about. But we do have a word of the week. And this is the first word of the week we've had come in from Denver, Colorado. We've had some Colorado submissions.
From Littleton.
We've
we
had a
had
Littleton
one.
submission.
Shout out Littleton.
This one's
Shout
from
out.
Denver. And because usually they're coming from all over the place. And let me just make sure I know how to say it. So Joseph, or Joey, I think he goes by, from Denver, Colorado.
Thank you,
The
Joey.
word of the week is ebullient.
You, spelling, please.
Yeah, I can spell it for you. It's E-B-U-L-L-I-E-N-T. And it's an adjective, therefore a describing word.
Country
And-
of origin, please. Just kidding.
Yeah.
Like, use it in a sentence, please.
Yeah, I was going to, let's see.
He'll get a sentence for us.
Used in a sentence. Let's see. It comes from a Latin origin, if that helps. I don't think it does.
It does.
Does it?
Ebullient?
Ebullient. Ebullient.
Ebola?
Ebullient. So here's using the sentence. She sounded ebullient and happy.
Okay.
And what was the definition again?
Well, that's what we're guessing on.
Oh, okay.
It is an adjective. Using a sentence, Arthur sounded ebullient and happy.
Ebullient.
You want to take a stab at that, Brett?
Ebullient. I always got to make sure I'm pronouncing it right because I know Chris Frazier's going to hold my feet to the
Ebullient.
fire. Ebullient.
The robot doesn't help.
And I wouldn't know what this word is. I'm always the one holding the phone with the Google stuff, so everybody knows I don't know what the
I
hell
know
this
my
word is.
English teachers are just so upset right now.
So I'll take a stab at it.
Go ahead and take it.
Ebullient. He sounded ebullient and happy. So I'm going to say ebullient is ebullient. I don't know if I'm saying it right. Is energetic. It is full of life. Synonyms for that.
Yeah, I was gonna say excited. That'd
Yeah.
be my word. Yeah.
Yep, you guys nailed it. That's what it is. The number one definition is cheerful and full of energy,
Okay.
right? So if you're feeling ebullient, you're
cheerful.
and full of energy, man. Just like we are right now. We're feeling a little bit ebullient, having a couple cold ones, enjoying this cast.
No, I'm actually pretty depressed. Right
Are you?
now, so-
What do you think's going?
Damn, your mask is beautiful. Where can I get one of those?
Yep.
And that's the word of the week. So thanks, Joseph from Denver, Colorado.
Shout out Joey.
Coming right here from our home area, man. That's our first one.
Tree 720.
Usually they come from like rural America, our words of the week. So
Nice.
thanks, Joey, from hometown Denver. And that's the word of the week, guys. Be sure to submit your picks and your words of the week. You know where to find us.
Email us. Yeah, you guys know the spiel deal.
Send your would you rathers in too, so Arthur doesn't have to come up with them every week.
I'm pretty good at that, though, man. I have some fun with it, especially when I'm giving juicy information.
Yeah, it's easy. It's easy.
So we know you're into stocks. CEO of a tournament gaming platform. We got you being a professional ball player.
I wish.
Man.
We've learned a lot.
And you've also, you've served in the military, so,
Thank you for your service.
I'd like to thank
yeah,
our vets, of course.
Technically, kind of, yeah, technically. I went to West Point out of
Yeah.
high school. So I have a DD 214, but I don't really consider myself a veteran, so
Yeah.
cheers to that.
Well, I mean, and that's respect, though, too, because a
Yeah.
lot of people, want to jump and ride that coattail.
Yeah, no.
But, to actually go out and be deployed and
Right.
deal with that
It's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I can respect your position there.
Yeah,
I'm sure a
yeah.
lot of people do.
Yeah.
We kind of like to come up with some hashtags here, but before that, we like to ask a question. And that's, Brett, if you could give humanity a piece of advice to help humanity become better tomorrow, what would be the one piece of advice you give humanity?
Yeah, so Luis is going to like this one because we just talked about it the other day. But, I think one of the problems is we always judge ourselves by our intentions and we judge others by their actions. And that is what would be my one piece of advice. And what I mean by that always is, we don't really care about why anyone's being mean to us or rude to us, right? It very well could be that person just found out their dad died or something, right? It doesn't matter because we only judge them by their actions, right? But when we're rude to somebody because our dad just died, we forgive ourselves very easily because we understand our intentions, right? You see what I'm saying? So, yeah, that'd be my piece of advice.
So I'm just going to say that back because, I had to start processing it.
Yeah.
We judge ourselves on our own intentions and we judge others on their actions.
Yep.
And I mean, wow,
That's solid.
It is an eye opener because it is so true. Like, it's complete polar. Like how we look at ourselves to others. Like they're acting this way, they're driving this way, so they must be X and Y.
Exactly.
And
but whenever
opposed to,
you do it, it's like, well, I had a bad
yourself.
day or whatever. It's okay, right? I didn't necessarily mean to do this thing.
That's a good point, man.
Yeah.
I think I feel like I do that quite a bit, actually, especially in the grocery biz, because I'm always, being around people and I'm pushing a buggy around. And I'm thinking like in my head, get out of my way.
Right,
What I'm trying to do is more important than what you're trying to do, kind of thing. Not that I truly believe that. That's just what you feel in that moment.
That's just natural. Well,
It's
it's
just
natural.
yeah, exactly.
It's natural. That's the animalistic side of us, right? Because the dog doesn't think about the other dog, right? And that's natural for us to feel that way. But that's that's the hard part, is kind of living that. It's easy to say that, and like, here's my little tidbit of wisdom, but application's a lot harder, right? Because even though I know that, I still do the same shit.
Yeah.
Well, and
that's a good point,
those
man.
are some of the, like, it's like getting back to the basics almost, like,
Or golden rule.
what you feed what do you feed in your brain on your
Right.
spare time? Like, we'll full circle the thing,
Right.
how are you treating people when, and years ago, my mom told me, son, one of the best pieces of advice I could ever give you is to not take things personally.
Right.
Because people project, and that doesn't mean that they necessarily feel a certain way about you, and you can interpret that any way you want.
Right.
But you shouldn't interpret it personally, because people are living their lives.
Right.
And that really ties into, understanding that other people have intentions.
Right.
And some people have shitty intentions, and it's okay to like, once you discover that, to like, recognize that their intentions are not good, and you can disagree with that, and that's fine. But to give people a fair chance,
Benefit of the doubt.
exactly,
Yeah.
Instead of just jumping down their throat because
Like,
they
you
did
did
something.
this one thing.
Yeah.
I know you're a terrible person, right? Which is just not the case almost always. So
Yeah, everyone's so quick to just put everyone in a box. Like, oh, you believe this, you said that, you stand this way, so you must
Right.
believe this. And yeah, to piggyback off that, I think that's a good thing to echo on, really, because we got to hold ourselves to the same standards that we hold to other people too.
right, it's the
And
golden rule, man.
It is,
Yeah.
and it's difficult to do.
It is.
Just like you said.
Very easy to say, very, very hard to do, for sure. But no, I think you touched on a really good point too. We're so obsessed with, organizing things, and we try to make everything black and white, right? It's like you're either this or you're either that, and it makes sense why we do that. Like, it's very natural for us to do that because life is chaotic as fuck.
Really,
You know what I
truly
mean?
is.
And so we try to organize the chaos, right? We try really hard to control the things that we can control. But, the negative side of that is we don't give a lot of room for nuance, right? And kind of the cancel culture is a perfect example of that, right? It's like, you said one bad word, you therefore are a horrible human being and you should be canceled, right? I don't know. I just think we're so obsessed with right or wrong, black and white. It's just almost everything, there are shades of gray, right? The truth is really somewhere in the middle. But that's hard. That's messy. That's why we don't like to do it, because it's fucking hard to figure that shit out.
It is
You know
hard
what
to
I
figure it
mean?
out.
Yeah, because
And
everyone has a slight different
Right.
truth.
Yeah.
Because everyone's, your perception is your reality.
Absolutely.
Like, how you see
Yeah.
the world, that person's specific reality, and everyone's perception is a little bit different. And so, to meet in the middle and always find a common ground that's, you can't accomplish that. You can't always find a middle.
Not easily.
in the middle. Yeah,
Yeah, it's hard.
But you can. You can give respect and respect another opinion, and maybe like,
Absolutely.
hey, even though we don't agree, doesn't mean that I have to hate you. Maybe you helped me understand a couple new points about this subject, whatever it is that I didn't think before, but I still think the way I think, and you think the way you think. But that doesn't mean that you have to like hate people over that stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, could be better said, because people are put, again, to piggyback off what everybody here is saying, we're put into a bit of a position where it's like, okay, now I'm so conditioned that if I say this or if I truly express what I'm feeling right now, there could be major ramifications for this. Hence the cancel culture.
It's crazy.
So where is that line that we draw between this is truly where I stand and then this is just me being PC, so to speak, and
Right.
not being me? Because obviously there's times where we got to keep things to ourselves, hold it in. We're not trying to be dickheads here. But at the same time, if you want to express something that you're passionate about or opinion that you really feel is near and dear true to you, and it's going to cost you a career, man, I don't know. I don't know what I think about that.
It's tough, bro. That's why I always talk about like kids these days. It's a different world, like compared to when we grew up. You know what I mean? Like
we were on the tail end of like you played in the yard.
Absolutely.
There was no technology.
we were the last ones.
Yeah,
basically.
We were.
and then we
Yeah.
kind of like in our later teens, somewhere in that range, kind of got a
We
taste
got
of all this
razor
stuff.
phones and playing
So-
Snake and
So we're the transitioning
I agree 100%.
generation, and
Definitely.
it is pretty wild how much technology has affected people. And so to full circle, going back to what Brett's saying, is if you are using the technology, that's fine, but maybe just put a little bit of thought into
be careful.
Yeah, what you're ingesting, what you're feeding your subconscious.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, that's where we're at now. You have to kind of just, make sure you know where you're at.
Yeah.
Check your surroundings.
Yeah, so on a totally different, change of topic here, do I get an award for finding this studio?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
I think Brett does deserve an award for that, and that does, some recognition. First of all,
He was the first to just
the
stroll
first,
up
yes,
in here.
Please.
in the new studio to just come. He found it.
Waltz and in.
Sixth floor, shared workspace kind of community.
Yeah, man.
We're in here dicking around doing what we usually do in the pre-show, and here comes the guest tonight. So I
I'm
think
sneaky.
tip of the hat to that for
Yeah,
sure.
appreciate
Absolutely.
it.
You get kudos.
Thank
and
you.
actually, I believe that Louisa was one of the very first, so this is fitting, that just walked down into the old studio. Like, she just knocked on the
nice.
door.
That's true.
And the old guy, our homie Jamie,
That makes sense.
let her in. She just, so there's
That's
that
right.
energy.
Yeah, we got that connection.
There's a similar energy there.
For
She
sure.
did the same thing,
Yeah.
just in a different setting. We were in a house then.
Yeah,
It was the
so
same
a lot
thing.
easier in her case. Okay, I
She
got
kind of
you.
knew, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll give you the tip of the hat there again. You had more places that we could have been.
He navigated the labyrinth of
And
the
he was
sixth
early.
floor.
He was
I'm not
early.
gonna lie, it's a bit of a corporate hellscape up here. It is confusing.
Hell
I
yeah.
legit walked around a few times because like this hallway over here, it goes to like 650 or 669 or whatever, and then I couldn't find 671.
Did you notice? So we did the walk,
it.
and we noticed that there was
There's no
no
666. Zero.
No 666 office.
That's
they
good.
completely
That's good.
skipped it.
We don't have
Otherwise, we'd all be.
We don't have the devil's office here, bro. Yeah, it's not here. Lucifer's not in the building.
Good. That's good.
He's just not here, so that's a good thing.
Floor 13, they do that all over the place.
Yeah, they don't have the floor 13.
Yeah. And in China, I think it's 4 actually. I think, if I remember correctly, 4 is the unlucky number in
Really?
China. So they skip that like it's our 13.
Interesting. Yeah,
I
it
think
is
I could be
interesting.
wrong. Let me know in the comments.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So everybody listening, make sure that if you guys are into competitive gaming, if you're into sports games, you're into Fortnite, you're into anything that's versus other people, battle royale, whatever it is, definitely visit Tournament Kings. Is that with an S at the end?
Yep.
Definitely visit Tournament Kings. Check out what they're doing. They have an easy to use app that will help set it up so you can make your own things and in that way bring your community with you to butt heads in the battle.
Prove who's best. Yeah.
Yes.
You got any plugs, man? Get them in there. Where do you want people to go? Where can they find you?
TournamentKings.com is great. Our main product is TourneyBot. It's technically a bot, but app is the same thing. And I mean, you did a great job of introing it. Yeah. So if you're looking to play, compete with your own community, give us a chance for sure.
Oh,
give it a shot. Yeah.
I'm in. I want to do some of it.
For sure.
I'll probably lose, but I'm down to have some
Dude,
good
raise
times.
some people on there.
Dude, I'll raise.
And Discord those motherfuckers.
I'll get in there, man. I'll get in there. I'll have some fun. That's what it's about, to have a good time.
That's right.
That's what it's about,
That's right, man.
enjoying it.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Probably a good place to do that. Brett, it's been an absolute pleasure sitting down with you, man.
Yeah, sweet.
We're probably going to do a little bit of post-drinking here, it sounds like.
Hell yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, we had a good pre-show. We're going to do a little post-show hangout edit.
Nice.
You already know that we're going to keep the content coming. Next week we have Flat Earth Dave is on, and so we're very much looking forward to some of his viewpoints talking about that. And coming beyond that is Hell's Kitchen.
Season 19.
Yeah, the winner of that. We won't tell who it is just yet.
Yep, it's not official yet. So we will have the winner of Hell's Kitchen Season 19. You guys have seen it on Fox Thursday nights. The winner will be joining us April 28th. You'll see it the 29th. But yeah, we still got some stuff to do before then, man. We got Flat Earth Day here. David Weiss joining us next week. Gonna be a lot of fun. But man, this was a good time with Brett Phillips. Thanks for being here, brother.
Yeah,
Thanks
such
for
a
having
pleasure
me.
talking with you, man. Great
Thanks for
energy.
having me. Appreciate it.
And as all our listeners know, man, y'all be good to yourselves.
Or not.
You deserve it.